Hello, this is Week 10 discussion board on human resource and accounting ethics. For one, I think accounting practices are so heavily scrutinized from an ethical standpoint due to the fact that from an accounting standpoint, that's where the money is and lies, and that doesn't always run congruently with ethics and morals. I think some of the gray areas in accounting morality include like revenue recognition, um, and deciding to recognize revenue. Another one would be expense reporting in the sense of determining how to report expenses, um, and if you know the expenses don't align morally and ethically, but make a profit, then they can be used in a way that may be more beneficial to the company and not so much the ethical side of things. With that comes a conflict of interest in terms of balancing personal or financial interests with professional judgment, um, which with greed comes often people's drive to earn more money, but sometimes they forget the negative implications this may have on an ethical standpoint with the employees, the environment, but specifically um, within their system and the people who work for them. In regards to HR, human resources, I think some of the strongest um, ways that they can develop ethical practices are by training, in the organization. With interactive ethical training, as Quinn was mentioning, kind of the case of Wells Fargo, which illustrates severe unethical practices leading to reputational damage, which is never good for a company. And to avoid this would be able to train and educate employees and management on what practices um, are viewed as more ethical and trying to eliminate unethical practices. I think human resources uniquely situated to address corporations' ethics is huge because the human resource departments are usually the voice of a company for the employees, and um, should almost run off of a neutral place in the sense of finding resolution um, that is ethical and that is right by the company and the employee. And often, many organizations only conduct minimal duration training infrequently, and employees are online when doing a lot of the training, which uh, doesn't promote an environment that can be used for question and answers and feedback, and seeing and experiencing other people's questions and what they're gaining from it as well. So I think it's important to have a more um, intricate training uh, that involves people together. I also think the training needs to be updated. Um, HR needs to really focus on outdated material and stuff that doesn't necessarily um, associate with everyday working practices. Also, the frequency of the training is important in order to have consistency and the ability for people to get used to a continued line of education and understanding ethically of what their actions, consequences of their actions may be in the environment in which they work. I think HR has a huge responsibility because, again, as a representation of both the company and the employee, but more so the employee, they have to build trust and integrity within their messages and how they represent the employee in order to refrain from creating a dishonest relationship between the company and the employee and to build trust in the employee again.